Hello everybody, it's Johnny Tyres here. Just wanted to show you a little squad review. That's what I'm going to be doing today. Now, you may look at this team and think, yes, it's nothing special, it's fairly cheap, you know. But the balance of the team and the work rates of all the players, I've just had a lot of success with this team. A lot of people will know that I've been very inconsistent this year with Ultimate Team games. My performances have been poor. But with this team, I've got about an 80% win rate. And you know, I'm a big fan of all the players, and they just seem to work really well because of the balance. So let's get straight into it. So we've got the team of the season, Begovic here. He's just an absolute beast. His diving, his reflexes are just off the scale. He's got really good long throws as well. I'm not a big fan of kicking the ball. If the keeper's got it in his hands, I like to throw out. He can usually pick someone up in the midfield quite easily. And he's only conceded 2 goals in the 6 games, so he's an absolute beast. We've got Sanya next at right back. Big fan of him on the game. He's got high defensive work rate and medium attack, which is really useful for a right back to have that high defensive work rate. You know, he's often in position when you need him, especially on counter attacks when you're facing pacey teams. He's not the tallest. You know, I think he's about 5'7", something like that. But he's got good defending at 81, and he's got a bit of pace as well. Koscielny, a lot of people will use him. I tend to, when I've got a fault at the back, I tend to have a combination of one pacey defender and one rock, which is why I've got Danaga there, which I'll come on to shortly. Koscielny's got high defence as well, and good pace at 74. His defensive stats seem to be better in game than what they show on the card. He's only got 81 for both defending and heading, but I'm quite confident that they are higher in game. Danaga is a very, very good player. A lot of people don't tend to use him because he's not the quickest defender, but he has got very good defensive stats. The only downside with Danaga is he does have a high attack work rate, and I think it's medium defensive. But if you've got a left back or a right back next to him with high defensive work rates, they actually tend to sweep up anything while he's up the field, which is exactly why I have Monreal. He's very underrated in the game. You know, he's got 81 pace, he's got good defending at 75. Again, it doesn't seem like 75, I'd probably put it at early 80s, 81, 82. And because of his high defensive work rate, he's just there to sweep anything up when Aga has a little bomb forward. So definitely worth a look. Now, the mid three, I'm going to start with Tiote. Now he's got a high defensive work rate, which for me is really important in this formation. You know, if you need someone who's just literally going to break up the play and make a pass, he's your man. Absolutely. He just sits there. You know, he doesn't run off. He goes forward occasionally, but he's got a good long shot as well, so he's worth having there. And obviously he's got 83 defending as well. So he just breaks up the play and makes a pass. Nothing special, but he does a really solid job. Kabai is probably the most underrated player on the game. He's absolutely insane. His passing is far better than 81. He's got medium work rates, both attack and defence. He's essentially my playmaker in the team, so if Tiote breaks up the play, he can just pass it off to Kabai and Kabai just spray a pass, diagonal long balls or through balls, whatever you want to do with him, he'll do it. And because he's got medium defensive work rates, he's actually a decent defender as well, so he's basically your all-round player. Kagawa I have in there mainly because I like to have one of my CMs with a high attack work rate, which is what he's got. He's got decent pace as well. His dribbling's insane, so you can just wander around players whenever you want. We then have the informed Pablo Hernandez. Now I've got him there because he's got a high attack work rate, and he's also got low defensive work rate, so he doesn't really wander back to support the midfield, which is good with this team because you've already got Tiote doing that role, and Kabai can help out as well. Hernandez is decent pacing, he's got 4-star skills, his dribbling's fairly good as well, and his shooting actually seems pretty good. I've had a few decent near post power shots with him. They just seem to fly in the net, so he's definitely worth a go. And you know, he's cheap as well, so absolutely worth a look. Aside, I've got in there for pace mainly. It's useful to have one pacier winger. He's got high attack work rates, medium defensive work rates. His dribbling is far better than 84. He's got 5-star skills and 4-star weak foot as well. So he's another one of those players that's very underrated. Dzeko is quite an interesting player. His work rates are really interesting for me for your head striker. He's got medium attack and low defence, and that's actually quite useful for me in this formation because he can do one or two things. If you need to cross into him, he's a fairly tall player and he's strong as well with average heading at 75. So if you do ping a cross in there, he's got a good chance of getting it. But if that attack style isn't working for you because of his medium attack rates, he does tend to drop back a little bit, and because of his strength, he can actually hold up the ball really well, whilst your wingers and Kagawa in this formation get forward as well. So he's actually really good at linking the play together, and the passing is good enough for that kind of role. Big fan of him. He's been really good for me so far. Just to quickly fly through the bench as well. Adebayor, very similar playing style to Informed Dzeko. He's actually really strong on the ball. Again, he's very good at holding up the ball whilst your other attackers catch up. And he's actually got really good heading as well, so he's worth a go. Ben Arfa, obviously, I don't need to explain. He's a very, very good player. Oxlade-Chamberlain is just a direct replacement for Asadi with the pace. Xavi Garcia I use as a direct replacement for Tiote. He's really good at breaking up the play and just making a pass as well. Ferdinand's just a rock. A lot of people again are put off by using him because of his pace. But if you want a player that's just going to be there when you need him, he's just solid. Santi Cazorla, a lot of people probably say I should be playing him instead of Kabai or Kagawa. The reason I don't play him first is because he's got medium work rates, and because of his defensive stats, I don't really feel that he should be in this role in the main team. His shooting is off the scale. His long shots are absolutely insane, but he doesn't have enough attacking work rate for me to be in that role. As a centre attacking mid, he's absolutely genius. But he tends to fill in for Kabai or Kagawa when they're a bit tired. Jury is just a pace replacement for Koscielny. Left back and right back have got Kolarov and Richards. Their work rates are slightly different to Sanya and Monreal because they're both high attack and medium defensive, which is useful in the sense that they can get forward and support the attack, but it does leave you a tiny bit exposed on the counter if they've made a break forward. So I tend not to try and run them forward when possible. I just I use them to break up the play and make a pass rather than trying to let them go up forward. In terms of tactics for the team, when I start a game, I instantly put it to defensive, which kind of helps Danaga sit back a little bit with his high attack work rate. I also put on straight away counter attack and team pressure, which tends to work really well. I'm not one of those players these days that tends to try and make a tackle as soon as possible. I'm quite happy to soak up the pressure around the middle of the park, because at the end of the day the opponent can't do anything in the middle of the park apart from pass it around, and if you're playing defensive and they're coming forward, there's lots of opportunities to just break up the play with your centre mid, Tiote in my case, and spring a quick counter. Kabai is amazing at spraying a lobbed diagonal through ball to Asadi, and Kagawa can do the same for Pablo Hernandez. And if you've got a team that's playing 3 at the back as your opponent, they become very exposed very, very quickly. Also, if they've got a 4 at the back with attacking left backs or right backs such as Jordi Alba, who bombs forward all the time, is always out of position, you can really expose that with a quick counter lob through ball. So it's really worth trying this team, considering how cheap it is. I've had a lot of success, and I would hope that if you do try it, you experience the same. So that's the end of the video. Any comments or anything like that would be really appreciated. Please give it a like, it really does help. And if you did enjoy the video, again, post some comments and I'll do some more in the future. Okay, that's the end of the video, and thank you for watching.